Hello everyone, this is Brian with BS Tech Networks. In this video, we are going to give you a tutorial on how you can add calendars and events to your website. BS Tech does offer an add-on calendar feature for your website for a nominal fee, and after we install it, we do configure some various settings for it, and then we give it to you, so you may then go in and create more calendars if you'd like, or just set events on the default calendar that is set up for you. First of all, you will need a username and a password in order to log into the administrative portal of your website. If we have not given you a username and a password, please reach out to us and then we can certainly provide that to you. So you'll go ahead and log into the site, and after you get logged in, you will hover over the Components menu at the top and then choose J Events. J Events is the module that we add to your site so that you can then have a calendar. In the event that you'd like to have more than one calendar, you will click Manage Categories. As you can see, this is the default calendar that is set up when we set this up for you, so there's just the one calendar. And if you want to change the name of it, you can click Edit, or you can click on the title and then change the title here. So I'm just going to call this one a job calendar. There are some other options that you have. Apparent, if you have more than one calendar and you want this to be a calendar that exists under another one, then you can click this drop down and then choose the other calendar. Of course, right now it says no parent because this is the only calendar that is set up. Administrator. If you have multiple individuals that are managing and maintaining your site, then you can select who you would like to be the administrator for this calendar. Access level. Right now and by default it's set as public. That means anybody and everybody that goes to your website can view the calendar. If you have users that you provide usernames and passwords for, then you can click this and change it to registered, so that way only individuals that are registered with a username and a password on your site would be able to see the calendar. Published. If you want the calendar to be published, of course ensure it's set as yes. If you want it to calendar offline for any reason, make sure to change that to no. If you want to put a description of the calendar in here, you certainly can. You can just type it in there. Then after that, hit save. To make a new calendar, simply click on New, and then it's the same kind of thing. You just will give it a name. I'm going to call this one Deadlines. Notice under the parent menu, now I can choose Job Calendar since that was a previous calendar that I set up. Now, when you create another calendar, it by default sets No is published, but make sure you click that to yes. Enter any description if you'd like, and then hit Save. So now we have two calendars on the website. Now it's time to go ahead and enter some events in this calendar. So you'll click on the control panel, or you can also get here again if you go to Components and then go to J Events and then hit Manage Events. As of right now, there are no events in the calendar, so we can just click on New, and it will provide us with all kinds of details for the event. So the subject, we'll just say Mr. Smith's website deadline. So there it is. And then for category, this is the calendar that it will be applied to. So I'm going to choose Deadlines. Access level, we could set it to registered, but because I'm using this for test purposes, I'm going to keep it as public. In here, you can enter any information about the event that you'd like. This will appear on the event page. So I'm just going to say this is some test text about the website deadline event. Of course, you can change anything about it that you'd like. You can change the font size, change it to 14 point and bold. You can change the font color, make it highlighted, anything else. There's a previous video that we kind of went into that in more detail on how to add content and articles to your site. Location, if you want to set a location, you can do so there. If you want to put some contact information, you can do so there as well. Now here is where you will set the date and the time for the event. You can choose the start date, so you'll click that, and then we'll choose the start date of July 30th, and we want to start at 8 a.m. So it already is set at 8 o'clock by default. The end date, let's go ahead and make this a 2-day event. So I'm going to click on the 31st, and then the end time will be 5 p.m. Multi-day event treatment. Because this event is on more than one day, it asks you if the multi-day event should appear on each day of the event. You can choose yes or no. And then if you want to repeat this event over and over again, you can choose daily, weekly, monthly, or yearly. That way, if you have an event that happens quite often or quite frequently, then you can always just come in here and set it. So if you have an event that will occur on the same day every year, click on yearly, and there's all kinds of options that will appear in here. Again, repeat until, so you can set an end time, but there's many options. So let's go ahead and save this, and our first event is now saved. Of course, if you want to edit it, you just click on it again, and then you can edit any of the information that you previously entered, and then you'll hit apply or save. If you want to delete the event, just place a checkbox in the event that you'd like to delete, and then hit delete. Okay, so let's go ahead and look at the page. Under here, it says no events. This is actually an add-on as well that comes with the calendar that we can provide to you. What it will do is it will show you a certain number of events that appear. Now, as you noticed, whenever I hit refresh, it did not save anything, or it did not show that. That is because we added this to the deadlines calendar and not the default one that we just simply renamed. So the next part that I'm going to show you here first is how to set those changes in the module. So go under Extensions in Module Manager, and then Latest Events. Yours may be titled differently. Usually, whatever the title is here is how it's going to appear up here. So if you want to change that to deadlines or whatever you'd like, you can change the text. Alright, specified category. See where it says the category, the calendar I chose is the job calendar. I needed to actually change that to deadlines so that it will appear. If you want all of the events from both calendars to display under the same module, then click on all the calendars. There's about 9 or 10 options in here, so you can choose multiple calendars. There are some other features in here as well. Maximum events to display. If you only want 3 or 4 to display right through here, then you can set that under the maximum events to display. There's many other options on here that I'm not going to go into detail. The typical ones that individuals mostly ask about are how many or how can I set only a certain number of events and the latest events, and that's where you do it here. And then how can I get the calendar to display correctly for the latest events, and that would be set through here. So let's go ahead and save that. Now if we go back to the page and refresh, there it is. So now it's showing the event. You can see the text here. It says Saturday, July 30th at 8 o'clock to 5 p.m. Mr. Smith's website deadline. That is the title that we gave it. So if we click on it, then it goes to the actual calendar event, and this is the text that we entered. This is some test text about the website deadline event. Now usually we will also have a menu on the website so that it can actually go directly to a calendar instead of using this latest events. I've just chosen not to show it in this test video, but anytime that you click on an event, you can always go back to see the entire calendar by using see by year, month, week, today, search, or jump to month. There's several options as well. So if you hit see by month, it shows up here that this is the calendar, and then there is the multi-day event that we put on here, and it shows that it's on both of those days. So in general, that is how you will add additional calendars to your site, how to add, delete, or update events, and how to control this latest events module so that you can depict which calendar you want it to pull from and how many events you want it to show. If you do have any other questions or need some additional assistance with the calendar software, please don't hesitate to get a hold of us, and you may do so at our website at bsnboy.com. Thanks again for watching, and this is Brian with BS and Tech Networks.